Hey everybody, I'm Tommy Scoville. This is the Tommy Scoville Show. Not gonna lie to you people, I'm a little bit exhausted. No, I mean, I'm good mentally, but my body's feeling it. Back-to-back 12-hour shifts with 3 more in the making is going to make for a fun week. Honestly, I'm not complaining. It's a good job, it's good pay, and I had a coach once in skiing, and he put skis on and skied with us, and it was just a completely different thing. When someone is talking to you about how perseverance is good and doing what you have to do and taking care of responsibilities, it's pretty easy to do if you're sitting on the couch all day long and making a couple of videos. But if you're actually out doing the stuff, I think it's probably better. It's better if you feel like I'm actually doing some work or whatever. But I want to introduce a segment today that I'm excited about. We get comments in the comment section a lot about how, in a lot of ways, this isn't necessarily purely a show about drugs or drug addiction, and I agree. There's a lot of crossover between every segment of life. So there's addictions that run the gamut, and they don't necessarily have to be about drugs. But I get emails a lot of times, and there are people that just ask questions that really sort of fall outside the framework of really what we do here. But I think that they're important, and I give my opinions, right? You don't have to agree with my opinions. But there are some that I really feel like are important. So I'm going to do a little segment called Ask Tommy. And if there's a question that you want to ask, please feel free to shoot. Here's the question I got this week, the one that I'm going to highlight. This is my first because I got it and I answered it, but I spent 2 or 3 days afterwards, and it was just grinding on me. And I think it's something that I want to answer out loud. I'm not going to. When you hear what the question is, you'll understand why I'm not going to highlight anyone's name. But I got an email from a guy who said, Tommy, I'm married to the most beautiful woman in the world, which is cool, right? We should all believe we are married to the most beautiful woman in the world. It's the beautiful thing. But he said, unfortunately, she doesn't see it. He said that she has become so preoccupied with the size of her body, and that she just has this horrendous body image. He said, and there's absolutely zero reason. He said, every husband says that his wife is perfect. He said, mine really is. He said, she's just, she's not overweight. He said she's athletic. She's in great shape, but in her head, she's not. And he said it really is becoming an issue in their life because it's almost all encompassing, and he believes it's an addiction. Well, whether or not it's an addiction is probably not something that I'm qualified to address. But in terms of giving opinions, I certainly can do this. And I have a daughter, so I'm appalled at what we do to women in this country. And, to an extent, it's done to everyone, but what we do to women is absolutely amazing. If you drive down the street tonight, take a look at every single billboard. It doesn't matter what they're selling. Get a look at the woman that they've chosen as a model in order to sell that product. And what you're going to find is that when at the very start of photographing most of these women, they're borderline anorexic. And then they're going to go in and airbrush them to the point where they would not be recognizable. I dated a girl years ago who modeled. And, this is almost embarrassing because of who I want to be these days, but she actually modeled at one point in Playboy. And the difference in who this woman was in real life and who this woman was when they photographed her was just, it was night and day. And I remember saying to her, was those pictures done a really long time ago? And she said, as if it was just normal conversation, she said, oh no, but they took about 1.5 inches off of each hip. They airbrushed and sculpted her body with special effects, for lack of a better way to put it, to create what they thought the world needed to look at. And they even changed coloration on skin and did all of these different things. So I think it's awful that, as people, and especially as women, we look at pictures of people that don't exist, that truthfully don't exist, and then think that is what beauty is. And there's something that translates down the pipeline where people look at that and say, well, obviously this is what men find beautiful, or they wouldn't use this person as a model. Well, I'm here as one man to tell you that that's simply not the truth. You hear me? It is not the truth. the people who are selected for the swimsuit issue in Sports Illustrated are selected by women, not selected by men. Supermodels are chosen by women, not by men. And all of these things are done not to do anything else but to sell product. I think that this starts really in the basic as early as 3 years old. The average woman worldwide, but definitely in America, gets their first Barbie doll at the age of 3. Okay? Most women will own 7 before the end of their life. And Barbie, people, is not the most realistic of bodies. I had to look some of this up. And when I did, I was absolutely blown out of the water. So I'm going to share this with you because I think it is super important. I really do. Okay, here we go. As to Barbie, are you ready? There's a Barbie doll sold every 2 seconds in the world. The target market for Barbie dolls is girls starting at age 3 and going to age 12. A girl usually has her first Barbie by 3 and collects 7 during her lifetime, as I said. If Barbie were an actual woman, she would be 5'9". She would have a 39-inch bust, an 18-inch waist, and 33-inch hips. Her shoe size would be a 3. Barbie calls this full figure, and she likes her weight at 110 pounds. At 5'9", weighing 110 pounds, she would have a body mass index of 16.24, and that would fit the criteria for anorexia. Yeah. If Barbie was a real woman, she would have to walk on all 4s. Due to those proportions, it would be impossible for her to walk standing up. Slumber Party Barbie was introduced in 1965 and came with a bathroom scale, permanently set at 110 pounds, with a book entitled How to Lose Weight, with directions inside stating simply, don't eat. You think I'm making this up? You can look this stuff up. This is what we do to little girls. And then we wonder, as women get older, why there are body image issues. Because they have been programmed from the very youngest age to think that's what beauty is. May I tell you, guaranteed, that if I met a woman that was 5'9", that weighed 110 pounds with a 39-inch bust, not only would I not date that woman, I wouldn't talk to that woman. That's frightening, people. That really is. That's frightening. As I said, this is not just something that is done with women. With guys, you still see, the ads for everyone's got abs, right? They're all perfect, but it's not the same. If you drive to the bank today, or if you go to the grocery store, count the number of signs you see with pictures of men who are half-dressed and pictures of women who are half-dressed. I would be willing to bet you the car it'd be 10 to 1 at a bare minimum. It's probably closer to 30 to 40 to 1. And we need an anorexic woman to sell us toothpaste. We need an anorexic woman to sell us softer toilet paper, right? All of this makes sense, doesn't it? So this is what we do to little girls in America. And as these little girls grow up, we expect them to feel good about themselves. Then we do ad campaigns when these girls hit 23 to say, you really need to feel good in your own skin, even though we've programmed you not to. So my answer to the gentleman who sent me the email is twofold. Number one, understand why your wife's body image may not be perfect. Don't blame her for it, because it most assuredly is not her fault. And number two, I'm sorry, and I'm going to catch hell for emails. I promise you, I'm going to catch hell for this. But it's your job to make her feel beautiful, especially knowing exactly what you know now. It's your job to honestly communicate that that's not us. Honestly, we didn't design the Barbie doll. I don't have any desire whatsoever to date anyone or look at anyone who looks like Barbie. What we've done is try to make it so that women aren't women, right? They're not. They're some kind of mannequin, because really the models that we look at aren't much better than mannequins. They're just something to hang the clothes on because the people that designed them think that looks good on them. People, it's horrifying. And yes, this is a little outside the realm of what I normally talk about. But since eating disorders are one of the most prevalent things in this country, why don't we take a decent look and a discussion at why they're so prevalent? Because I'll tell you something, what we do to little girls in this country, as a father, I have had this conversation with my daughter at length, because I don't want her thinking, number one, that Barbie's proportions are normal or attractive, because they're neither. And the person who put that scale in at 110 in a book called How to Lose Weight should get to spend 15 minutes in a cell with me, because I could talk to this person and maybe make him understand the error of his ways, because I guarantee you it was a him. No, nobody could be that cold-hearted, honestly. So, if you're listening to this and you have a body image issue, stop looking at models in magazines. They don't exist. Those people aren't real. They're not. They're absolutely not. And I'll tell you that the model that I dated, this is a true story, people. The model I dated, one day I walked into her kitchen and she was eating Kleenex. Right hand to God. She was eating Kleenex. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Oh, no calories, fills the stomach." True story. She used to smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day. Always had a breath mint and a toothbrush because she didn't want anyone to think she was a smoker. But I said to her, "You gotta quit smoking. Those things are gonna kill you." Weight loss. The entire purpose of smoking was to keep her weight at control. And with all of that, they airbrushed 1.5 inches off of her hips. It's time that we start celebrating who we are, what we look like, and realize that there's 250,000 body types and every one of them are cool. I don't know. That's me. Drop an email to the Tommy Scoville Show. And if you have a question, it doesn't matter what it's about. Look, I'm just going to give you my opinion, people. That's all it is, right? When it comes to the drug stuff, the amount of studying I've done has been pretty extensive. I really have read just about everything. Still, just my opinions, because I've taken all of that, culled it together, and told you what works for me. This segment right here that I just did, that's my opinion. That's really all it is. But I know I'm going to have a ton of guys in the comment section who agree with me on this if they stuck around and watched the video after they found out what it was about. And really, let's be kinder to one another. And let's start with not setting people up to literally destroy their bodies so that they can look like something that I promise you isn't attractive. You know what I mean? Poor Barbie would have to walk on all fours. I suppose the size 3 foot probably had a lot to do with that. And since this is not a family-friendly show and there are kids watching, she wouldn't menstruate. That was the last thing it said in there. At that body size, there's no way she could. Maybe that's why we don't have childbearing Barbie, right? We never saw Barbie with a kid. Maybe that's why. Because at that weight, she would be so unhealthy she couldn't give birth. Good Lord. Okay, people. I am Tommy Scoville. It is Wednesday. You know what that means? I think last Wednesday may have been Systroming. Sorry. I think last Wednesday might have been the Systroming day, but if it wasn't, my brother Johnny was in town and I didn't do Ounce of Prevention. But Ounce of Prevention is every Wednesday. So the next video that is coming up tonight will be on Ounce of Prevention, where I'll be talking to parents about raising drug-free kids. And as you know, people, that really is more than anything else where my heart lies in terms of the passions. Now, people, if you like what I say, okay, you can click on this thing right over here. Boom. That is going to get you a ticket onto this boat. And it's going to get an entire support group of people to help you to get sober and to live your best life. Over here are more videos. You might want to watch some of them. The more you watch, the happier you're going to be. That's kind of what we do on this boat. I am Tommy Scoville. This is the Tommy Scoville Show. Bye-bye.